بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد عن أبي محذورة رضي الله عنه قال لي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم التأذين هو بنفسه. So yesterday we were discussing the origin of Adhan and how Adhan came about. It was the dream Abdullah ibn Zayd ibn Abdi Rabbihi radiyallahu ta'ala, and he saw, and he came and he told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirmed it. And as we mentioned, Shawlillah rahmatullahi alayhi, he said a dream would not be sufficient to add anything to Sharia. However, of course, it was confirmed by the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam as being the practice that we have to adopt. And from that time until now, Islam is one of those sha'air and those features, special features of Islam. So much so that that's why, whenever the armies would be sent out, the Muslim armies would be sent out, one of the advices would be given is that you stay on the outskirts and see if you hear the adhan. See if you hear the adhan. If you hear the adhan, that means these people are Muslims. If you don't, then that's a great probability that they are not believers. And adhan is very, very important aspect of our religion, and hence, inshallah, we'll come to whether is far as compulsory or not as we look at the narrations. So that was, remember, so we said Abdullah ibn Zayd ibn Abdi Rabbihi, he learned the adhan, he saw the angels, or he saw in a dream the way to do the adhan. Then he was told to tell Bilal, and he instructed the same wordings to Bilal radiallahu anh, and that was how adhan came about. So Abdullah ibn Zayd ibn Abdi Rabbihi, the adhan that he would have taught Bilal, and Bilal radiallahu anh subsequently gave, is the same type of adhan that we give, the same amount of kalimats and the wordings. Now we come to the next narration now, which is Abu Mahdura's adhan. And now you're going to see a bit of difference here. Abu Mahdura is a lovely story of his. Abu Mahdura radiallahu anh, what happened was he was a young person, a young man, and this was after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam conquered Makkah. So at the end of Fatih Makkah, there was a general amnesty to the Quraysh. So all of them didn't become Muslim immediately. Abu Mahdura was one of those. As he says, in fact, he had no love for Islam whatsoever. And as the Muslims, remember, they went to Hunayn, right? And they had that battle. And where initially they were facing defeat, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted them victory. As the Muslims were on their way back from Hunayn, Abu Mahzura was with 9 of his friends. And he's a young person. And he is watching on as Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has set up camp. And the muaddin is giving the adhan. So he says that we heard the voice of the muaddin, and we turned to each other and we started imitating the voice in a loud way. So whatever we were hearing from the muaddin, we started mocking him. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard our voice, and he called for us. And then he said, "Whom amongst you did I hear with a loud voice?" So all my friends basically threw me under the bus. They said, "Yeah, it's him. It's him." So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I told everyone, "Okay, all of you go." He said, "Stand up and give the adhan." He said, "At that moment, I did not detest anyone more than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and what he had commanded me to do." So then he says, "No, but I had no choice. So I stood up and I called the adhan as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught him, and it's going to come in the hadith." After he finished, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave him a bag which contained some silver, and then he put his blessed hand on Abu Mahdura's forehead, and he patted his face, his chest, his stomach, and he prayed, "May Allah bless you inside and out." The touch of a Nabi, the touch of the Prophet. There are some narrations regarding this, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's touch transformed people. One young girl, can't remember her name now. So she was a little child, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took some water and sprinkled on her face. The effect of that touch meant, she says that her entire body, as she grew older, naturally your body becomes older, but her face remained youthful. So that's the touch of a Nabi. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he touched him, and that prophetic prayer changed him immediately. And he says that all the dislike I had for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was completely gone and replaced by love for him. So it was at that time he also, subhanAllah, is intelligent. So he sought the opportunity to take to request Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to appoint him as the muaddin of the haram, because remember the haram has now been conquered, now has fallen into the hands of the Muslims. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam granted the request, and for 51 years he was calling the adhan in the haram. And after he passed away, the honor also was retained by his children as well. They continue to call the adhan as well. Now let's look at his adhan, because there's going to be a little difference. And let's see if Ismail, let's see if you can pinpoint the difference. He says, Al-Qa'ali Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at-ta'deen. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, personally, he taught me the adhan. فقال, قل, he said to me, say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah, marratain, marratain. So far, so good, right? We're correct, right? قال ثم رجع. Then he said to me, say it again, repeat again. فمد من صوتك أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة. Then حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. What's the addition, Ismail? Huh? No, this normal thing. What's the additions? You didn't listen in. What's the additions? Let's go again. Listen carefully. Anybody else can point out as well. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Suhail? Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Come, Suhail. What's the additions? Right, he said it again. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah and ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. He said it 2 more times again. So Abu Mahzura, he called adhan like this. Now there's a whole difference as why was this adhan? It's called tarjih, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, remember, Bilal didn't do adhan like this. Bilal did adhan, how we normally do. So this is called tarjih. Now it is a whole discussion to why did he do the adhan in this manner, right? Why not the normal way? So scholars mention what happened. Remember when he was called by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Remember, he wasn't a Muslim. He was a disbeliever. He said, I had hatred more. No, I didn't hate anyone more than I hated the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first time Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was instructing him to recite the adhan, right? And he came to Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Is right when he said Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. When he came to those times, this was the first time. This was the first time that he is now saying the testimony of faith. Right? He's saying, right, mashallah. He's saying the shahadat. So hence he is saying the shahadat. So now that he is saying the shahadat, he is now accepting Islam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is now telling him that say it louder now, right? Say it louder. So the first time he said it, it was for him to say the testimony. And again, he is being told, now say it again. So that is entrenched. And now he says it sincerely as a heartfelt testimony. So the first time he was just saying it, and Allah's Messenger said, say it again. And raise your voice and say it. Because some scholars mentioned what happened the first time when he had to say it, he didn't want to say it. So he's saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So Rasulullah, say it louder now. So then he says it louder, and the iman goes in. And now we can understand as well that that's the speciality of Abu Mahzura. Why that's also a speciality? Because afterwards, that same lock of hair on his forehead, he never cut. The part where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam touched, that part he said he never cut for the rest of his life. He would cut all the hair because he said the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam touched that part of my head. And this was how he would do his adhan. This was how he was doing his adhan. There were other Sahaba as well who did adhan in this manner. There were other Sahaba who also did adhan in this manner. It's called tarjih. So first, the first time you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah and Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, you would do it softly, and then you would raise your voice and do it again. But generally, the practice is on the adhan of Bilal radiallahu anh. And you say that this is a speciality of Abu Mahdura radiallahu ta'ala anh. What about Iqamah? So Iqamah as well. Abu Mahdura's Iqamah though, when he learned, remember this is now the 8th year of Hijrah. In the Iqamah of Abu Mahdura's Iqamah is just like how we do it. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. Good qamati salah, good qamati salah. Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. There's narrations that show that Bilal radiallahu anh used to do the Iqamah how, we hear sometimes in the Haram and so, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala falah, qad qamati salah, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. According to some in the tradition of Imam Malik, according to one of the opinions there is that qad qamati salah is also one time. The Ahnaf go with this, the narration of Bilal of Abu Mahdura. Because Abu Mahdura, remember, as you said, when you look at this was 8th Hijri. And then there's also narrations that show Bilal also did it twice as well, right? There's some that say it was done one time, some that say it was done twice. Now this is the beauty of Sharia. Shah Waliullah Muhaddith Dahlawi, rahimahullah ta'ala, may Allah send down Karor Rahmati Unki Kabri, but Allah Ta'ala send down mercies upon his grave. He mentions this is nothing to fight about. Just as how we have the different variants of the Qiraat. So we have Hafs and Asim, and then we have Warsh, and we have who else you have? Alun, and all of these. We have the different variants of the Qiraat. Similarly, there were different also. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught the adhan and iqamah also in different styles. So there's no issue either. So this was done. So that's why we'll find, for example, so in Quba, one of the Sahaba, he would do the adhan in one style. Another one, so some of them did it according to Abu Mahzura, some of them did it according to Bilal, some of them did the iqamah according to Bilal, some did it according to Abu Mahzura. It's also been mentioned that Bilal radiallahu anhu's latter part of his life, when he did the iqamah, it was also like how we do it, the two times. So that's why the Hanafis generally stick to that position of the doing it how we do it, right? So without the iqamah. So there's a mas'ala here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the thing. There's a mas'ala that's taken from the hadith as well, that generally the person who does the adhan, he is the one who does the iqamah. And unless he gives you permission, you shouldn't do the iqamah. Why? Why is that? Because the man who has done the adhan has done the hard work and has come 15, 20 minutes earlier to do the adhan. Whilst you're probably eating or sleeping or whatever. And then know that the congregation is gathered and everybody is there. You want to take the plaudits. Oh, mashallah, he smile. Right? You understand? But they say, no. That's his right. Yes, if he gives you permission, fine, no problem. No issue at all. But you shouldn't get up and do the iqamah without his permission. Now, quickly, I wanted to do this the whole Ramadan. The wordings of adhan. Now, again, remember, this is all learning and teaching. So it's not about insulting anyone or trying to make anyone feel bad in any way, right? When we're doing the adhan, a number of things we have to bear in mind. The wording have to be correct. Letters we got to try to make come out, try to pronounce correctly. And then the places we stretch. So one of my teachers who taught us Qiraat, he was very strict on this as well. So there are some scholars who are very strict, so strict that they don't allow stretching unless it's a permissible stretching. What's permissible stretching? Gunna and mud, right? Anna Muhammadan. What's gunna? Mim mushaddad, mim with tashdid, noon with tashdid. That's permissible stretching. There are some scholars, remember there's one scholar, Hakim Mukhtar Sahib, rahimahullah ta'ala. Remember he came to Barbados and he would have, at that age, he used to teach people how to do adhan. And his murideen were very, very strict. So one of my teachers in Barbados as well, who's a Khalifa of, who's basically a deputy of Hakim Sa rahmatullahi alayh, they were very strict on that. There's supposed to be, for them, there's supposed to be no extra stretching. So the adhan is simple. You make it sound nice, no problem, but you're not supposed to stretch where you're not supposed to stretch. So for example, when they will get, when they, and that's a fine opinion as well. There's what Muzaffar told me that Mufti even Darulum told him that as well. So Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. So according to Tajweed rules, you should not be stretching more than that one alif, right? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Again there. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. So la you can stretch a little bit because it has a mud on it. Made, asli? What do you call it? Go and check that after. So it has a little mud on it. So you can stretch that for a little bit. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. That's it. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah. Hayya ala al-falah. Again, that's it. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Simple, right? That's according to the proper tajweed rules. You're not stretching. We don't pray namaz. When we pray namaz, we don't say Inna Allah la yaghfiru. We don't say that, do we? Because the tajweed rule is not to stretch la. Is it? You get what I'm saying, right? Right. So some scholars are very, very strict on that. I know that some of those scholars who are on that, who hold that position, when they come to some certain masajid, they say, go back and do that azan again. It's not been done correctly. So mashallah, Hakim Sa rahmatullah is very, very strict on this position. However, so that's one view, right? That's one view. However, my ustad of Qiraat, Qadi Abu Bakr Sahib, Damut Barakatuhum, he told us, however, when it comes to adhan, there's permissibility, there's leeway, right? There's leeway and there's allowance to stretch, right? And he said because the reason is that you're actually trying to call people, right? You're actually trying to call people towards salah, etc. So maybe a little short, it may not get the sound out of Allahu Alam, right? But there is permission. That's why it's fine as well. However, again, we go back to that however, the same rules apply. Tajweed rules apply, and where you're stretching applies as well. Listen to this one. Ashhadu an la ilaha. That's wrong. Because you can't be stretching the ash. You can't be stretching al. So if you're going to be stretching, let's go through this. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Maybe you can stretch that Allah a little bit. But you can't stretch ak. You can't say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You can't stretch Akbar. There's no, you understand? There's no rule there to stretch Akbar. Akbar is one word, right? Sometimes some people stretch Allah. Astaghfirullah. What does that mean? Is there an Allah then? So you can't stretch Allah either, right? What's Allah, right? Allah, right? That's what it comes then. Is there an Allah? Is Allah Akbar? That would be the translation. So that's incorrect. Then where else? Allahu Akbar. So that's a common. Any common? What was the other one? And then Akbar. It's not bar either, and it's not Akbar either. Okay, Akbar. So even in Salah, that's a common error a lot of people make. When we read in the Salah, we say Allahu Akbar. It's not Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I was by Qari Ahmadullah Sahib, Damat Barakatum, the senior Qari of Gujarat and India and probably the world. Brilliant Qari. And I led Salah. And he said, Maulana, Allahu Akbar. Okay, the raw has to come out properly. When you go by him, mashallah, he rinses you. Right? I was visiting him and, subhanallah. So afterwards, he pulls out the mistakes. But alhamdulillah, we're very grateful for that, right? Very, very grateful for that. He said, no, Allahu Akbar. Don't Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Sometimes you'll hear Imam say, Sami Allahu liman hamidah. That's Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Alhamdulillah, Maulana Zakaria does it excellently. MashaAllah, may Allah reward him. So Allahu Akbar. So not Akbar either, right? So Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Where was the other places though? Ashhadu. Right? Not Ashhadu either. It's Hamza, Sheen, Fatha, Ash. Ashhadu Allah. So that la we can stretch a bit because there's a mud there. Okay? So Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. Okay, we can, but then don't stretch where you're not. So Ashhadu al, don't stretch the al. La you can stretch. And Ashhadu Allah, la you can stretch a bit because you have the mud there, right? Ashhadu Allah ilaha il. Don't stretch the ilah too much either. Don't stretch that ilah too much either. And then the law at the end you can stretch. So Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. And it's not ilaha either. Okay? Ilaha. Come to Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So where there's a gunnah, you can pull. No problem. The anna, Muhammad, right? But not Muhammad either. So you hear that, right? Ashhadu anna Muhammadar. That's nonsense, right? You don't pull that part. Then hayya ala salah is a ha, middle of the throat. Hayya ala salah, and then ain comes after it. So hayya ala salah, and then that ta becomes a what? Tajweed? Aha. So it can't be hayya ala salah. That's wrong. Again, when you're stretching there, don't stretch the hay. Hay. Right? Hayya ala salah. If you're going to stretch, we stretch the la at the ending. And remember, so remember, the ha, the first ha is ha, middle of the throat. The last one when you're saying salah is it becomes a ha. And then hayya ala al-falah. Now this is the big ha, right? This is the ha, middle of the throat. So you're going to hear it when you're saying it. And then the same thing. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Right? Sometimes simple is better, right? My opinion. Everybody will have the. You want me here? You want to call the azan once? The boys can hear? No problem, inshallah. Inshallah. I called it the first day, right, Sufyan? The first of Ramadan. Maybe you go hopefully last of Ramadan, right? It's fine. Inshallah. Right. So as I said, both ways are fine. Maybe I'll have to call it one day a short one and then one day a long one. Inshallah. That's something that we can work out, inshallah. So both ways are fine. If you're gonna do it long, but do it long correctly. Right? Don't pull where you're not supposed to pull. The short one is a lovely one, as I said. There's some chachas, Ibrahim Chacha in Barbados. He does it according to that short one, but very sweet. Very, very sweet. Huh? All right. الصلاة خير من النوم. That's it there. That's why sometimes if you listen to the ones that are haram too, they don't stretch the other places as well. So this is just a simple thing. No, iqama. Let's look at iqama. Iqama. Let's go with me, right? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's one batch. Okay. Again, you hear all sides of things. You say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. No. The first four are together. And you don't say Akbarullahu either. The better thing is just to say Allahu Akbar. So Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You pause a little bit. Not long pause either. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And remember, iqama now doesn't have to be loud either, and it's not long because azan is to call the people outside. Iqama, you're just calling the people in the masjid, right? So Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So that's two as well. So first four Allahu Akbars, then two Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, slight pause, then two Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Some scholars also get from hayya ala salati, hayya ala salah, but otherwise, again, if you're following that sequence, you stop. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Remember salah, right? Hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. And if you're joining it, it is not falati. It's not hayyal falati, hayyal falah, right? Because that's a ha there. So it will be hayyal falahi, hayyal falah. But yeah, it is permissible. But other scholars have mentioned is the more preferred way is say with a waqf. Hayya ala salah, because you're saying everything with waqf, right? Hayya as in with the pause. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-falah. And then قد قامت الصلاة is together as well. قد قامت الصلاة, قد قامت الصلاة. And the last three are together. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. Got it? You got it right? Let's go over it quickly one time. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة, حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح, حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة, قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر, الله أكبر, لا إله إلا الله. So inshallah, that's it. Again, as I said, it's just for educational purposes, for us to get better, inshallah. Otherwise, mashallah, the youngsters are doing their adhan very nice, alhamdulillah. Mashallah. May Allah keep them and keep them improving, inshallah. But just remember, the places you gotta stretch, that's essential. Don't stretch. I don't hear it here, but I've heard in some other places. Ash, and where is ash coming from? Because it becomes in understand, according to Arabic, if you say ush, it becomes like ush. So you're putting the hamza before it. Hamza means like Zaydun qa'imun. Is Zayd standing? Right? So is Allah, all right? I testing is like a question mark. Then that becomes then a whole set of issues there. All right, we're gonna pause here. So we didn't finish the chapter on Azan. Okay, let's see. And Uncle wants me to speak about. We want to speak. So one second. Allah Ta'ala So inshallah tomorrow let's see what we'll do. We either continue this Adhan chapter or what we have to do, Uncle? Sadaqatul Fitr. So inshallah we got the hadith on Sadaqatul Fitr and also your question on if Uncle is hoping for Eid to fall on Friday. He's saying he wants to pray one. So we're gonna go through. We'll look at that inshallah. If to read if you have to do two khutbahs and two Jumu'ah, and then inshallah we also so that tomorrow's Thursday, right? And then Friday, then we have to go through this again the hadith and chapters on Eid. So let's see. So we didn't finish this, so maybe we gotta huh? Yeah, we gotta Eid chapter. So we may have to do that Friday morning. If it's not Eid, if you're keeping fast on Friday, then we'll probably look at that chapter on Eid. And we'll also try to finish this because I wanted to finish this chapter on Adhan. So Uncle, answer a question now.